गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णू गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरा गुरुर्साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः ॐ सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः Hari Om. Let there be peace, let there be peace, and now amongst all human beings of the universe. Let there be peace. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We have started contemplation meeting on the book called as Essence of Yoga. We have done first 20 chapters. We are in the revision mode. We have now done the revision of first 12 chapters and starting the revision of 13th chapter, that is story of Prahlaada. The story of Prahlaada is so enchanting that the stories after the stories in Yoga Vasishtha makes our mind very tranquil, contented, blissful, and over and above cool and relaxed. This helps us to lead a very simple and normal life without having any ego in that. So, with this, let's start the story of Prahlada, chapter number 13, page number 131. Essence of Yoga Vasishtha. Hari Toshanam, satisfaction of God Hari. So, the supreme is step by step approach to know the truth, that is self, to be established in the absolute. This was demonstrated in the life of Prahlada, the king of demons. We require ideal in our life. Presently, ideal is lacking in the world. So, if you are doing puja of Vishnu by not becoming Vishnu, then you will not get benefits of that puja. That's what Prahlada was thinking. But before doing puja, if you become Vishnu, and by that only the truth is attended, we have to invoke Bhagwan Vishnu in our heart, then we become Vishnu-maya. So Prahlad started thinking like this. In approaching Hari, certainly only Hari is the means. So let me go to him for refuge. So that's what he's saying. So goal is Paramatma, means is Paramatma. Therefore I shall surrender to him only. So plants and trees grow at one place and it is decided by nature where they should grow. Similarly, which is a suitable place, which is a suitable situation, which is a suitable event, suitable family in our life, individual, where we can go do spirituality is determined by the divine will. So therefore, changing situation, changing places, running away from the responsibility of the life is not a spiritual practice. So what has to be done then? Wherever you are, whatever you are, wherever you are, be 100%. This is Sharna. We have changed ourselves inside and not outside. This is the principle. We have to live at zero complaint level. And for example, can a mango tree complain like so many people are throwing thrones at it? So I should have become the jackfruit tree. No, we cannot have that. Wherever you are, whatever you are at the right place. So with this small note, now let us see the first topic, that is Hari Toshanam, satisfaction of God Hari. So Vasishtha Rishi said, Rama, hear now, this is the most excellent manner of acquisition of spiritual knowledge, as Prahlada, the king of demons, achieved by himself. So now what has been told by Vasishtha Rishi to Rama, we remember it is a dialogue between Rama and Vasishtha Rishi. He is saying now how the this king of demons achieved this spiritual knowledge. So he says, Prahlada having witnessed the demons killed by God, Hari, God Hari, reflected as follows. In approaching or overcoming Hari, certainly Hari is the means. So let me go to him for refuge. Thus having determined, he worshipped Madhava or God Hari mentally by a heavy collection of requisites. He started doing puja by mental puja. So he worshipped mentally by a multitude of gems and heaps of the vessels, by unrounded such as sandals, by pure incense, by weighing of lights, and by ornaments of various excellences. So he started the Manas Puja. So then all the demons in the city thenceforward become worshipper of the Vishnu with devotion, for it is the king who is the cause of the conduct of his subject. Because now this Prahlada was the king of the demons, all the demons started worshipping this Hari. And because whatever the uh, authority that is the king does, everybody has to follow it. So Hari, Madhava, Vishnu are the names of God as protector or sustainer in the Hindu Trinity. Having heard this, the astonished demigod asked Vishnu, reclining on the snake bed, Lord, why is this that the hostile demons worship you? The wicked demons is of the low birth. Where is the devotion of Vishnu? How can the gods, demigods started asking to the Vishnu who was reclining on the snake bed? So then Bhagwan Vacha, the Vishnu said, Wise ones, let us not be dejected that Prahlad is devote. This is his final birth, last incarnation. Why is praying Vishnu? It is his last incarnation. That subduer of enemies is worthy of liberation. So he is worthy of liberation. Pashyatam janma tasedam moksha rosa arindam. So he is his last birth. A virtuous person has become bad. They know this is an evil course. A person devout of good qualities has become virtuous. They call this as a fulfilling. So if a bad person comes in the company of good people, so he naturally he can be improved and he can get the result. But a good person goes into the bad company, every likelihood that he can become bad. So that is to be avoided. Then the demigods attended to friendliness towards Prahlada, knowing that he is worshipping Vishnu, he is worshipping with the consciousness that the Vishnu is nothing other than the Prahlada, very much in the heart of that. So they made a friendship. Though Prahlada was devout in thought, deed, and word, was one who had given up seizing enjoyment in life, he did not obtain the tranquility. He has not obtained the tranquility. So what he started doing then, Hari or Lord Vishnu, having indeed known that state condition, went to his house as a worshipper. When he was doing this all Manas Puja, then Hari himself Vishnu went to his house, having known the god by his worship, and adored him with a twofold refulgence. Prahlad, extremely delighted, praised him by the rich words adorations. He started praising him, and when he sees the god actually has come to his house as in a worship. So take this boon for the cessation of your numerous birth and misery. That's what the best God said to him. So then he asked Prahlad, said, Lord, point out to me only that which you consider as most exalted. Whatever is good, you please tell me that. So Bhagavan Vacha, sinless one, for the complete elevation of all confusions or error and for the highest good, let there be the reflection or inquiry in your extended up to repose in Brahmin, that is the supreme spirit. So you have to inquire. So there are four gateways of liberation: tranquility, contentment, holy company, and inquiry. So Bhagavan is telling you have to vicharastu tavanaga. Tav anaga, so you have to do sarva samsaya sarva sambramam samshante paramaya falaya cha brahma vishranti paryanta vicharastu tavanaga. So Bhagavan has told him that you have to do contemplation so that you will attain the tranquility, bliss, cheerfulness, happiness, and over and above cool and relaxed mode. So that's what the advice has been given the Prahlad to Prahlad by Bhagavan when he has shown his given him darshana. So this is the first topic. So if you really want to surrender to divine will, then you have to become God. If you are seeing this world as God's creation, then we have no complaints, no comments on anything in this world. If we see that this is a God's creation, how can we complain on that? Spiritual practice is not becoming extraordinary but remaining ordinary. For example, ice is an extraordinary, so it has a God shape, requires special recognition, but water is normal, does not require any recognition. It is normal in this way. Let us not crystallize ourselves to a strong personality or individuality. Let us not separate ourselves from others. Let us merge with the totality into this spiritual. This is a spiritual practice. When you are with yourself, you are worried. So he started doing puja in his own heart. So the example is given. Varkari Sampradaya does this puja in only heart. Uh, when they wake up in the morning. So Manas Puja, mind becomes Panduranga, mind becomes all the puja ingredients, mind becomes the puja process, mind becomes saturated with divine thoughts. So don't say Papoham Papa Karma. So what is said here is whether you like it or not, whether you know it or not, whether you want it or not, you are divine. Try to experience your divinity within as well as outside. Shankaracharya said, worship by the mind, to the mind, on the mind. on the mind. Again, I repeat, Shankaracharya says, worship by the mind, to the mind, on the mind is the Manas Puja. All started doing puja like Raja Prahlaada was doing, his all Praja was also doing so. Raja hi acharya karanam, atha rajya tatha praja. After doing Manas Puja, he used to do the actual puja with a vigraha in front of him. So after doing his Manas Puja, closed eyes, all offerings was being given and all that, he used to do Vigraha Puja also. So inside Bhagwan and Puja, outside something, slowly it will lead to Bhagwan inside and outside. Therefore, I am in the Lord and I am not separate from the Lord. Therefore, all Dvait, Daitya also become the devotees of Vishnu. So Prahlad is at last station of his life. He will be liberated and he will merge in the absolute. If a person with good quality goes in the wrong company, then it will be lead to calamities. But if a person with the bad qualities goes into the good company, he will evolve positively. So a bad person going into the good quality, he will evolve. But a good person goes in bad quality, there is a disaster. There was thief, for example, thief stole from the king's house and he runs and becomes Babaji for he is supposed to save himself. And he starts Om Namo Bhagavate Ramakrishnaya Namah. So if he felt doing natak of becoming Babaji, saved him. So he how good must be the becoming Babaji only? So he understood that and then become Babaji and he got liberated. If I have wealth, society respect me. If I am divine, the whole world respects me. If you are Gunwan, you have to be very careful. Starting ashramas in this Bhagwan's Maya, we have to remember this. So temptation of holding property, temptation of having disciples, temptation of having name and fame will destroy us, the seekers. The spiritual practice is to attain freedom from our spatial status, commoner of the commonest, and that is what is the truth. So when you are becoming special, you are reduced. In spiritual practice path, we have to give up all our specialties. We have to give all our specialties. We have to stop worldly indulgence. Why not be at peace at, and lead a very simple and disciplined life? That's what is said. So now when Bhagwan Vishnu has told him that Atma Vicharanam has to be done, the second topic, the inquiry into the self, 113 page number, shloka number 14. Having said thus, when the Lord disappeared, Demon king, that is Prahlad, completing his worship in due order, having sat down, carried out the investigation into the nature of self. He started now thinking about the self. So, shloka number 15. As far as the world, I am not this. It is external and is indeed quite senseless. I am not the body which by itself is senseless, destructible, moving about only by the breath or the vital energy. So he decided Dehatma Bhava ka tyag uski pehle kiya. Then he said, I am not the animate sound which is brought about by the senseless auditory passage decaying in a moment of the form of void and originating in the void. So he has dropped now Shabda. I am not a touch which is not conscious, which is attainable and is also not attainable otherwise. By the skin perishing in a moment, which is the nature of the experience obtained by the brightness or the clearness of intelligence. So he said that I am not the body, I am not the Shabda Sparsha, I am not Sparsha, I am not the form, so this is Rupa, which is not conscious, which is resting on the seen and seeing, that are decaying and perishable in the moment, and which is lost or destroyed in the mere isolated seer. So Shabda Sparsha Rupa, it is gone now. Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa. I am not the taste which is not conscious, which is obtained its characteristics through the tongue, which is trifling, insignificant due to its changing momentary existence, which is a very little or brief moment, and which depends on the relevant substance. So he is not Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa is not. And Gandha, I am not the smell which is not conscious, which is determined by the perishable nose that is utterly senseless, which is the slender and indefinite entity. So what has he has done is he has started contemplating. First, what he says, I am not the body because body is perishable. So Dehatma Bhava. Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandha. All 5 years dropped because he is not there. I am free from the senses of mind, free from the connection of the outward world, free from the thinking and calm, with the wailing confusion of the five senses gone. I am the only pure consciousness without parts and recognition. He has understood I am this luminous perception which is just pure consciousness without object to be cognized. I pervade inside and outside, full of being pure and undivided. And this is very true. That has been remembered by me now in full. So he has remembered it's totally this thing. I am all pervading self, the light of undifferentiated consciousness. It is only on account of me, the conscious being, the light, excellent luster, that all these things, from pots, garments, like to the sun, shine forth. This is a symbolic representation of all the things in the visible universe. It is only account of me that this varied function of senses springs forth here, just as the spirits of sparks of fires issues forth by the inner light and heat. Repeated salutation to my own self who is inherent in all states of being, who is of the nature of pure consciousness, liberated from things to be cognized, and who is of the form of inner life principle. I bow to I bow to self who is risen only by myself, risen only by myself, who is self-abiding, independent in his own mind self. Though staying, he is not staying. Though moving, he is not moved. Though quiet, he occupies himself with action. Though acting, he is not staying. Now he is explaining. So how he has dropped. The inquiry has started. First he says, I am not the there. I am not the body. Because body is perishable, I am not that. Shabda sparsha rupa rasadanda is all sensory organs he has dropped. So he is understood now. Sensory organ has gone. That means he is not jiva, he is not body. He is not even Ishvara. So everything is dropped. And what remains is only consciousness. Unfragmented consciousness, what is there. So because of that unfragmented consciousness, it never dies. Though staying, he is not staying. Though moving, he is not moving. Though quiet, he occupies himself with action. Though acting, he is not staying. This self alone is fit to be sought for, lauded and only meditated upon. By this one course over the bewilderment of old age and death. To me, there is no desire for continuance of enjoyment, nor for the abandoning of enjoyment. Whatever comes, let it come. Whatever departs, let it go. So जो आता है उसको आने दो, जो जाता है उसको जाने दो. When the mind is destroyed by the mind, has arrived at the state of egotism, and when thoughts have been dropped or vanished though thought, I shall remain self-abiding and alone. So I'll remain in myself, whether you like it or not, whether you know it or not, whether you want it or not, you are doing. Victory to him who is beyond all scriptures, victory to him who is above of all scriptures, victory to being, existence, victory to non-existence, victory to him who is absorbed in tranquility. That means Sukha Dukkha Saman. Thus, having reflected, he remained for a long time in Nirvikalpa Samadhi, a yogic state of absorption in absolute consciousness. He remained because what has he dropped? He has dropped Deyatma Bhav, he has dropped Jivatma, he has dropped Ishwaratma Bhav, he has nothing, no attachment. So he remained in a Nirvikalpa Samadhi. So this is the contemplation what the Prahlad has done. So only inquiry, no karma, no puja, no prasad, only vichar, tranquility. Vikar and vichar both are thoughts only. Vikar are a default thoughts, and vichar are contemplating thoughts. For example, cloth wrinkles. When we remove the wrinkles, the beauty of the cloth comes up. Wrong notions are removed without creating new notions. Know that Father is an illusion and man is the totality. Whatever you have to do for son, do it, but don't carry the burden on the head of yours. If you mind your mind, you learn secret of spiritual life. Inquiry is a must for this. Anything which is Kriya Padam becomes mechanical and remain no charm in it. Then in every event in your place, in everything, you start discovering a divine message. Everything we have to learn. For example, cooking, driving, operating laptop, etc. But when we come to thinking, we say, I know everything. This is wrong. So you should know that how you have to control that. So when the question comes of selecting what mind is telling, like sorrow, trouble, and all that, whereas self, there is all well effulgence. So select the self. So the most important thing is to think. Vichar means Atma Vichar, not worldly Vichar. We must take interest in life, yet we must not get carried away by the conditioning of the limitations of life. This is spiritual life. निर्मोहत्वं निश्चलतत्वं सत्संगत्वे निस्संगत्वं निस्संगत्वे निर्मोहत्वं निश्चलतत्वे जीवन मुक्ति. So Prahlad story is an ideal one to plan our spiritual life. We are doing things sincerely but wrongly. Don't become duragari. Don't be allergic to the religion. It is the elders who has to demonstrate spiritual practice. Don't get caught up in the religious resolutions. Absolute truth, pure existence. Away from all the impurities of divinities. Otherwise, And duality is absolute pure existence. Prahlad understood that no one is powerful than Bhagwan Hari. So only way is to evoke him and decide what to do. In my in my light only all this is seen. So sit quiet and evoke Hari in the loving heart. So Hari inside, outside Hari, inside and outside Hari. I am inside the body and world is outside the body. This is samsara. Living in the samsara and not becoming samsari and thereby becoming the source of joy, happiness for everyone is a spiritual practice. The inside outside feeling is due to the wall of body identification. This can go only through the vichar. Body identification is the first culprit, so obstacle on the spiritual path. So that has been brought by Prahlad. To work for freedom from body identification. You can't do you are that, you can't know you are that. So the body I cannot be because it is jad, subject to destruction. You can't see eyes with eyes. It is not possible. It is experience without an experiencer. It is knowledge without a knower. So Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasagandha is not me. Now there is no mamata for that. Mind is not me, world is not me, all this is gone. So therefore no more thinking, that is what you are. So don't try to capsulize, conceptualize. Don't try to figure it out. Don't try to understand. In being there are no efforts. In becoming there are efforts. So if you become seeker, then there is struggle. You are divine, so there is no struggle. Body identification, people are most miserable. So noise and silence are equal for the spiritual people, that is prashanta. Therefore, delusion is gone out of the five sense organs. One is seen as many due to the sense organs by our mind and not by only one. All delusion is gone. If you understand this, this is called as inquiry. So he was using one of the gateways of liberation, that is inquiry. Means are supposed to be dropped after use. So do the karma and drop it. Your mind has become pure. Drop karma. Karmani chitta shuddhartham. That experience where experience is not born is the truth. I am the pure consciousness. We are life in limitlessness, but leading a life of fearful existence. Let there be duality, but don't does it matter? Remain undisturbed. In being, there is no effort. So wherever you are effortless, you are on the right track that you are in the being. So nothing to do, nowhere to go. So Yog the mantra moj mein raho. But we struggle to enjoy, that is wrong. Enjoy whatever is available. In and out are meaningless from absolute truth point of view. So the third topic now is told as Harina Prabodhanam. So now this Hari understood that now this enquiry has become so beautiful of this Prahlad that everybody is now becoming, all demons will start following Prahlad and everybody will become liberated. And how his course of Leela will continue. So again the Hari came and gave darshana to Prahlad, and what he says, when he has thus tranquil, Hari reflected this. Now Hari has reflected. When the demon kings goes to the state of tranquility, the demigods with God without enemies will surely go to the highest abode called as moksha, having attended to the quietude. In the absence of demigods, religious sacrifice or auspicities will indeed become fruitless, unproductive. When such rituals are diminished, even the earth will become to an end. Then there will be contingency of the absence of worldly life in its destruction. When the world is thus extinguished, I do not see in any prospects any good here. Thus having thought, the god Vishnu, waking up the demon king with the sound of his divine conch, Panchajanna, told him, virtuous one, remember your innate form, that is characteristics. Remember that. So that way, and by you who is liberated while living, and indeed remaining only in your kingdom. His body is fit to be cast up to the end of the world without anxiety. I am weak or insignificant, extremely distressed, perplexed, foolish to him, whose mind these and such other thoughts do crush, death appears splendid. His life is splendid to whom there is no egotic conception, whose intellectual is not tempted, and who is equal towards all the being. To him whose inner self is bound by hopes and snares, who is led directed here, there are on account of the unsteady, disordered thoughts, death appears splendid. His life is splendid, who indeed sees this visible universe like a witness, with an intelligence which is cool within and liberated from passion and hate. Therefore, get up, king of demons, resort to your throne. As long as the mountain Meru exists, as long as the earth survives, and as long as the spheres of the moon and sun exist. Sinless one, so long do you remain as a king, as to be proud of your everlasting, unbroken virtue. Having thus said, the lotus eyes Vishnu disappeared there itself. So what has done now is Vishnu has given a sermon to this Prahlada, and he wanted that if Prahlada becomes liberated, or what will happen? There will be no more the demigods. Demigods also will get liberated, so there is no point to have this world. Everything will extinguish. So he again gave a darshana to Prahlada and told him, "You continue to be remain king. Do all your actions of punishing someone as a king or rewarding someone as a king, but without having any egotism. This thing, part of it." So Sri Rama Uvacha in slok number 45. Revered one, how was the mind of the high-souled noble Prahlada, which was firmly absorbed in the highest order, awakened by the sound of Panchajanya? How he came out of the Nirvikalpa Samadhi? Then Vasishtha Rishi says, in the heart of the liberated while living, there dwells that pure mental impression, which resembles to the roasted seed and is destitute of the sprout of a numerous birth. It will not get birth, but it is very much there. Whereas, even at the end of 1,000 years, when the body exists, they wake up slowly, even with that lofty inner state. Thus ends the 13th chapter. So this has been told, and this Rama's doubt also has been cleared by the Vasishtha Rishi likewise. So what remains is now that which is the substratum of total world subject object reality, and in this absolute reality there is no objectivity. Like a man, there is no son, no father, but it is appearing only. It is attention on son and father, and that is the problem. This is objectless awareness, that which is our essential nature. Uh, Till the concept of inside and outside is valid, we are far, far away from the truth. We are not at all spiritual. We are religious but not spiritual. So inside, outside, there is only one reality. Hold on to this. In Prakriti, there are Vikruti. You can't stop that. If something is happening, it is Haricha. If something is not happening as per wish, it is Harikrupa. My dear friends, don't get lost in Prakriti, Prakriti, Prakriti. So, peace of mind should not be compromised under any condition. Let whole world be on fire. You relax and have a cup of tea. That's what has been said. I have destroyed mind by mind. That is exactly same way. Use the mind to destroy the mind and then subsequently reject the mind. So what has been told is perception followed by the projection. Projection is samsara. If you don't follow the perception by projection, then it is the divinity. Projections happens basically and initially with the words. So dekho suno bolo mat. If you see something and do not project, then you are one with the God. So hear, see, and don't talk. Experience without an experience is an essential nature. Victory to mind who is beyond all scriptures. Victory to him who is absorbed in the tranquility. Alertness, quietness, and vigilance of the mind is a real spiritual practice. Never get retired in life. Always remain occupied. Occupy, use your expertise to serve society. Do this. So ego should not come. Spiritual practices, ego should not come. Activities are done to remove the ego. Karmanyavadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. You have right to do your prescribed duties, but no right about the fruits. So bad and goods are essential in individual life. World is maintained by complementary opposite. To transcend this relative, transcendence this dualism. I come to discover this absolute. Life has a meaning if life has a meaning if there is a struggle, completion and hard work. Everything has a purpose in this world which God has decided for us. Bhagwan says you are liberated, but you have to conduct the role of king as Datya and continue this body till the Prakriti. That has been advised by Bhagwan Vishnu to Prahlada. Never retire in life. Keep occupied physically, mentally, spiritually, psychologically, everything. Be dynamic. Do some physical activities. Then only accumulated lethargy will go away. Who is worthy of living and who is dead while living? He is already dead. Who is very weak. I don't strain. I cannot walk. Hold on. Ati dukhi, always miserable. And there is, and who are miserable, they do not like other people happy, they become more miserable because of that. I am unfortunate, I am unlucky, nobody likes me. That's what he says. Negative people, miserable people, same kind, and waves comes out of them, and they cannot tolerate happiness. They are already living death. So what is life? Life is be happy, be cheerful. So our Mahamantra is be happy always with wisdom. They are the same with everybody. He who is not carrying a wrong notion that I am doing this, I am doing that, is always happy, and is always giggling, lucky, and smiling. Nothing wrong happens with him. Friends, do good to others, but don't talk about any things. नेकी करो और कुएं में डालो. हरी इच्छा और हरी कृपा. जताओ मत. Be good and forget it. Don't remove God from your head. Remain ordinary is our essential nature. So he should be equanimous about things and beings in the world. If you cannot love anyone, don't hate. If you cannot help, don't destroy. If you cannot talk to someone, don't be bitter. If you cannot help, don't create obstacle. He is equanimous to all. How many days we have to live in this world? We don't have to cover whole earth to protect our feet. Rather, we use leather shoes. Earth stand covered. In same manner, take care of your mind. Whole world will take care of itself. Don't get involved in anybody's life more than the limit. Remain like water. Adjust everywhere, and remain an ordinary person to be happy, cheerful, blissful, or contented over and above, relaxed and cool under all the situation of life. With this prayers. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tatsa Sri Ramachandra Arpanamastu. Submitting the divine fruits to the holy feet of Sri Ramachandra.